What is going on? What is going on, guys? Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm gonna try to test out the audio here, see if it's working or if it's loud enough. Let me know if anyone joins and you can hear the audio. No, not the ads. Let's see, 1 second here. Skip that. Oh, it looks like it's working. All right. So. All right, ladies and gents, today I wanted to kind of like hop on live and answer some of the YouTube comments that I get. I don't usually get to respond to them one by one. I just wanted to kind of like, uh, instead of typing everything just to make a video off of it, and then I'll probably clip it and post it on the channel like I've been doing recently. All right, looks like the audio is working for everyone. All right, so if you guys have any questions, make sure to just put them in the chat. But I'm going to be going through the comments that I have gotten. And yeah, that's basically what this is. And if you have any questions, I'll be able to answer them if I can. All right, so, and this is also going to be posted on the channel. And I'm also going to clip it into, a bunch of clips. If there's different topics, I'm gonna be able to put those in, and post those individually on different days and things like that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's look at the comments here that I have. All right, so I'm gonna move this to the side here. Let me see if I can arrange this in a better way. All right, let me go ahead and move this to the side. Let's see. Well, that doesn't matter, but I'll just leave it like this. All right, you guys don't need to see that. All right, so the first question that I'm looking at here is someone asking if I have a video on accounting versus finance. So I'm guessing you're asking about the differences between accounting and finance, or you're asking about when it comes to actually getting a job, because this was on a video where I was talking about uh, a finance job. So essentially, if you are going to be going into finance and you're doing accounting, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna be able to interchange between the different jobs. If you're a finance major, you can do accounting work. If you're an accounting major, you can do finance work very easy. The skills that you gain from every job you have, they're going to be pretty transferable. There's going to be some things you have to learn, of course, like the minor things, minor specific things, but the general concepts, they're going to be the same. So if you are a financial analyst, you do that for a while, you realize you don't like that, and you switch over to become a staff accountant, which is kind of like the entry level accounting position for people that graduate with an accounting degree. You're going to be able to do that job because guess what? As a financial analyst, you're going to be using data that staff accountants prepare, and it's gonna be if you're a staff accountant, you're gonna be using data that's prepared by financial analysts. So you kind of like get the skills on both sides, so it's pretty easy. But if you move up to to getting a CFA, right, if you really love finance, when you get to that level, that means that is pretty focused, right? So if you get to the level where you're getting a certification like a CFA, it's gonna be a lot harder to go back to accounting. At the same time, if you get a CPA, which is the certified public accountant, that means you're really focused in accounting. So it's gonna be a lot harder to switch into finance, but you're gonna be able to understand the general ideas. So the two degrees, it doesn't really matter. You can have an accounting degree and work in finance. That's fine. You can have an accounting degree and work in finance. I work with a lot of accountants that do finance, and there's a bunch of finance people that actually do accounting, like staff accountants and things like that. So those are if you're thinking about job wise, those are going to be the two. That's gonna be the comparison that I'm gonna give them. There's not much of a difference except for the job specific duties. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and like this comment. Uh, okay, so someone says that whenever you get internships or when you start working your first job, one of the things that the person that's training you or your manager is going to tell you is to forget everything you learned in school. So everything you learned in school, you're gonna throw away like 90% of those things. It doesn't really matter. They're gonna retrain you. So that's why it goes back to the fact that GPA does not really matter when it comes to how smart you are. It's gonna be your willingness to learn, right? And for the most part, this was something that I was reading like a long time ago, where people that graduate with 4.0 GPAs, they think they are really, really smart. That whenever they actually start a job, you're starting from the bottom. Someone has to train you. Someone has to teach you like you're starting school again, like you're a freshman in college, right? But if you feel like you're really smart, you're gonna feel like the other person is not, respecting how smart you are. So having a high GPA doesn't always mean you're smart. You have to be willing to learn. Yeah, so everything you learn in school, you're not gonna use it when it comes to the actual job, right? You're gonna learn how to calculate things when you can in the real world. You're gonna be able to use Google search, right? You're gonna learn how to memorize. This is what this means. This is what goes first when you're looking at this. But when it comes to actually working, you can use Google. Google is my best friend. There are lots of things that if I'm working, there are things that I don't know that, I know that I learned it in school or I've heard it before. I've never heard it before. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and Google it, and 100% of the time there's an answer in Google, right? You're gonna figure it out. So everything you learn in school, you're gonna have to throw it away. It's gonna give you a foundation. I'm not saying that, there's no point in getting a finance degree in school or paying attention in school. It's gonna give you a great foundation. So that's one thing I really do. I love and enjoy about school. It teaches you the basic concepts that can, be a foundation. So if you look at like if you are a finance major, you're going to be learning about the basics of finance, corporate finance. What is a company? What makes a corporate company? How do they get funding? And when they get that funding, how do they invest it? How do they use it? How do people invest in a company? Things like that. So learning those things, those are the things that are going to be your foundation. So as soon as you understand those things, you can go into the real world and be part of a corporate company and actually see those things in first person. And you're going to see that it's not always going to, there's going to be things that you didn't learn in school, because these things are always changing, right? If you look at finance, it's always changing. There's, right now there's crypto, people that understand finance and programming, they're needed, right? To kind of like work on some of these blockchains and things like that, right? So it's a ever changing environment, right? So you can in school you're gonna be able to learn the foundation, the basics, but when you go out there, you're gonna learn what is happening right now, right? I can imagine if you were in school, I graduated in 2020, so class of 2020. I never learned anything about cryptocurrencies, right? Never learned anything about crypto, and that is kind of like one of the biggest things in finance right now, crypto. So you don't learn that in school, but I do understand how money works, right? How currencies work, supply and demand. Those are the basics that I learned in school. So that's why school is important, but at the same time, you have to realize that you're only learning the basics. You're only learning things that you can use to build your foundation. Um, and those things, they're easy to forget, but if you pay attention, you build a great foundation. So let's see here. I'm gonna answer another one, and I will look in the chat after I answer one more question here. All right, so this one is talking about international students. So it says that for most international students, they're not allowed to get a job or to work until the last semester of college, which is a great disadvantage because when they actually try to find jobs after they graduate, they're not going to have any experience to put on their resume. So I think the person's name is Michaela. So they did, I'm imagining they are an international student, so they did provide some tips here. They said their suggestions are gonna be to join clubs, right? So this is one of the most important things you can do in college. If you're not able to get any internships or jobs or anything that you can use as experience, join clubs, right? So if you are uh, a finance major, right? Join the finance club or investment. I know in my college we had the investment society, which was a pretty good club to join. And once you join, don't just join and become part of the board, become uh, you know, get one of those leadership positions, right? That's gonna be something you add to your resume. If you are the treasurer or the whatever positions they have, just be involved, and that's also gonna allow you to network with other people, right? Another suggestion was join as many academic programs as you can. Also complete academic projects, do some volunteering work. Let's see here. Maintain a good GPA. Good luck. So one of the things here that they touched on was what is it? Completing academic projects. So sometimes if you are completing projects is going to be a great way to show how much you know about a topic. So if you, I know one of the things I did when I was in college, it was my last year. I did a research paper on I wrote a research paper on risk management, and this was for what's the bank? Bank of America, right? So I was kind of like doing a research paper on how they manage their risk and how they can do it better, right? Or suggesting what they could do to manage the risk better when it comes to credit risk. It's lots of things when it comes to like risk, when it comes to banks themselves. And the goal was to go into investment banking. I decided not to, but I used that. I put that on my resume, on my LinkedIn. I was like, hey, this is something that I wrote. I was looking at this and that. That's why I ended up in the insurance field where there's risk every day, right? So managing risk is, that project allowed me to understand that, it allowed me to I don't know how to put this into words. It just allowed me to understand risk and how to look at it, how to analyze risk, and how to kind of like mitigate risk. And I wanted to go into a field where it's going to be able to do that. So working on those projects sometimes points you in the right direction. You find things you enjoy doing. If you're going to be doing a research paper for a month or a whole semester, right? You're gonna realize you're gonna find out if you like doing that or not. Just the subject itself. So I'm gonna look in the chat here and see if we have any question. I said, Nash, I was wondering what is the best way to make your resume look good with no experience in finance. So this depends if you're in college. I'm assuming you're in college, unless you're in high school. But if you are in college, if you don't have any jobs, anything like that, I would say, like I was just talking about, join organizations, join clubs on college that are related to finance, right? I'm not saying join the anime club, right, and put that on your resume. Join any clubs that are related to finance. And once you join, right, because that's what you're going to put on your resume as part of the finance club, right? They want to know what were you doing in the club? Were you just a member? How were you contributing to the club? And what did you gain from it? So when it comes to that, that's where you want to, become, join the leadership positions that they have, right? If you become president, right, that might take you a lot if you're not, a person that doesn't like to, um, do those kinds of things or be the center of attention. But join those clubs and become a leader, become the VP of finance, become the treasurer, become the membership, whatever. Make sure you join a leadership position. That's going to help you add things to your resume. Now, that's just one part. Second part is complete some certifications. So if you're going to be working finance, accounting, business, it's not just finance, it's not just accounting, anything in business. Microsoft Excel is going to be your best friend. Everyone uses Microsoft Excel. I was talking to some people today, and it's hard to hire people right now, and all they're looking for is someone who knows how to use Microsoft Excel, because that is the hard thing to teach someone who's never used Microsoft Excel. But if you find someone who knows how to use Microsoft Excel, who knows how to use Microsoft Excel, they're gonna be able to learn the finance. Finance is easy. The hard part is the application of it, or kind of like figuring out what the answer is, right? Or what's close to the answer. So Microsoft Excel, get a certification in that, or maybe in some data visualization programs. Maybe in if you want to take it a step further, go in Python, right? Do something on Udemy, one of those websites where you can get a certificate. Do Python, do the easy programming languages that I used in finance. Python is one of the biggest ones. Get a certification in that. And once you get a certification, you don't really have to be fluent in it, but it's something that you can put on your resume. But if you get to the point where you are really, really great at it, work on a project, right? Create a project. If you want to go into, let's say, insurance, right, in finance, write program something in Python that manages risk or something like that, that you can show that you know how to apply this knowledge that you have, right? So get some certifications. Those are gonna help you, show that you're actually applying yourself. I was thinking of another thing that I kind of like forgot right now. So let's see here. Yeah, those are kind of like the main things that you can kind of like do without getting, if you don't have any jobs. But if you wanted to take it a step further, get a part-time job in finance, like a data entry job, right? Those are super easy to do. I'm gonna do a live stream on how you guys can find jobs easy, right? I find a lot of people, they have a hard time finding jobs. I'm like, it's right here, but I realize that it's a skill that not a lot of people have, or they don't understand how to use the tools that we have, which is the internet, on how to take advantage of those job postings, and kind of like the tips that you can do to avoid scammy jobs, and to always guarantee to get a call back or things like that. So I'm gonna do a live stream on that. But get a part-time job in finance. It doesn't have to be a financial analyst. It could be a data entry clerk. It could be an assistant to someone in the finance department. That is gonna give you good enough exposure to add to your resume. Now let's look at another one here. Is a master's degree actually worth it, or should I gain work experience and certifications? I love the cap. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So they're asking if they should get a master's degree, or they should just gain work experience. So one of the things that I've learned, I don't have a master's degree. I have a bachelor's degree in finance, in business administration, but with a focus in finance. I don't have a master's degree, but this is what I've learned based on the people that I work with, and some of my friends that have gone for their master's degrees, and some of my friends that did not go for it. So before you go for a master's degree, it depends, if you're going for something in business, or if you're going to focus in accounting or finance, it's going to depend on that as well. So let's say you have a finance degree, right, an undergraduate finance degree, and we just graduated. A lot of people like to do their masters, right after, so that they just, get it over with. But you should do the opposite. You should actually go work, get some work experience, right? So let's say you're in finance, you graduate, go work for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, right? You're gonna realize exactly what you want to do. You might be a finance major, but you don't know what you want to do, right? Because finance is such a huge industry. You can go lots of directions, right? So in those 5 years when you're working, you can switch jobs every year, every couple months, just to find something that you actually enjoy doing. And sometimes you're gonna find out, oh, I actually enjoy doing accounting a little more. So you get your master's degree in accounting, right, instead of in finance, with a focus in finance. So I would say get some work experience, and then go back to school. And or if you and that also minimizes your debt, right? So sometimes if you're taking loans to go to school, a master's degree is expensive if you're going to be getting that. Now if you go to work, if you go for there are lots of companies that have tuition assistance and reimbursements programs, where they will help you pay for tuition if you're going to be getting a master's program, or if you have college debt, they would help you pay that off. Or if you're sometimes you might have to sign something that says that after you get your master's degree, you have to work for them for a year, 2 years, or something like that. It just depends on the company. But that is also going to help you if you were going to be taking loans, if you work for a company that has a program that will kind of like help you pay off that tuition. They might give you a certain percentage, they might reimburse you a certain percentage, but that's going to help. Then it's free money is better than no money. So Yeah, so I would not go for a master's degree right after you graduate from college. I would go get some work experience, and I would, yeah, for 4 or 5 years. And if you see that, you enjoy, and most of the time you're gonna see that, uh, nowadays uh, people value experience more than education now, right? So you have people that have bachelor's degree that make, that are in higher positions just because they've been working longer, and you get someone that has a master's degree that doesn't get that position. Now, if you, let's say, if you don't get your master's degree in 6 7 years, and you realize that you want to become CEO, CFO, things like that, then you might need your master's degree, because when you get to those levels, those people have master's degrees, but you're not going to become CEO in 5 years, right? So that's why you need those 4 to 5 years to kind of like explore, find the things you actually want to do, and then go back to school for your master's degree and focus on things that you want to do. And that's also going to make the classes easier because you've had real life experience. Moving to the next one, opinions on possible jobs for economics majors. So I don't really know much about econ, but you can work. I actually do have a friend that works in the Treasury Department for the government, that was an economics major. And you guys can work in finance, you can work in, but I think a lot of econ majors can fit well in research jobs, right? When it comes to finance or anything like that, that's gonna be a best bet. I would have to do a lot more research on that. I'll ask my friends around that are econ majors, see some of the jobs that are available to in that field. I was wondering, with most internships ask for experience, should I get an internship with no experience? Yeah, so I've seen this where some internships will say you need an internship will say you need, a year of experience or something like that. Those are gonna be, it's gonna depend on where you're looking for them, right? So if you're looking in the wrong places, you're gonna find things like that. It's like finding an entry level job that says you need 5 years of experience right after you graduate from college. Like, how can I get that? That's what I'm gonna do. It'll take me a little while to show you guys how you can find internships. But tomorrow I'm gonna do another live stream. It's gonna be at like a lot earlier. That this is late at night. It's like 10. It's gonna be at like 8, 8:30, maybe 9. I'm gonna show you how to find internships that don't require you to have 20 years of experience before you even start, right? But these is just a matter of looking in the right places. If you're looking in the wrong places, you're gonna find internships like that. You might even find internships that say you have to pay them, say you have to pay them $1,000 a month a semester for you to intern with them. Don't do those. Those are scams. They're not scams, but like no one should be doing that. It's like doing an unpaid internship in 2021. No one should be doing that. Uh, what do you think about an Indian MBA course? Indian MBA course. I mean, I feel like an MBA course is, they're all the same, but it's just a matter of where you're gonna work, right? So if you're gonna work in the US, you do have to see if it's accepted here, right? So I've had some friends that have an MBA, not an MBA, but a high degree from a different country. But then when they come here, it doesn't apply. They have to redo it, go back to school because it doesn't count. So you kind of like have to look into that to see if it's gonna count here, if it's gonna be, if it's gonna hold the same weight, right? So in India, it might be, you have an MBA, but then here it might be like, that's, an undergraduate level. You have to take more courses. You have to do this and that. So you just have to do your research when it comes to that part of, finding if it's going to be compatible, if it's going to have the same weight as it as much as it had as it has. Say, if I send you my resume, would you be able to give me advice on it? Yeah, for sure. You can send it to me. I'll probably make it into a live stream. I'll obviously just don't include your personal information, like your address, your name. You can put your name if you want, or you can put like a fake name. But if you send it to me, I'll put my email here in the box. Uh, I I think this is my email. Yeah, so you can send that to me, and I'll make it into a live stream. I'll let's see. I really want to get an internship next semester. Yeah, so yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a live stream on how you guys can find internship from those that are looking into high GPA internship programs to those that are just looking for regular internships that don't have crazy requirements, that don't require you to to pay them money, or that don't require you to have 1,000 years of experience before you even graduate from college. So I'm gonna answer a few more questions here, and then we're gonna end the live stream. Let's see here. Someone says, "Can I major in finance and minor in real estate?" I think this might be a great combo if your goal is gonna is gonna to end up in real estate. I think majoring in finance is gonna help you because at the end of the day, you might be a real estate guru, but if you don't really understand finance or real estate finance, you're not going to be able to be successful. So I think that is a great combination. If you want to go into real estate, so I'm assuming you want to go into real estate. So so pairing that with finance, that's gonna give you a solid background and support. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna do one more here. Someone said, should I major in finance? I'm an introvert and I don't like art or science, but I'm struggling to pick a major. Is it challenging? So they're asking if they should major in finance because they're an introvert. So it's fine if you're an introvert and you want to go into finance, you're gonna be fine. Like finance is such a huge industry that you can go so many directions, right? So if you're an introvert, you don't like talking to people, you don't like I guess it depends on the level of introvert you are, but you can literally work in the back office. You can be the guy that's crunching the numbers, right? You can be the guy that's doing all the math if you're good at that. You can be, you don't have to always, be the person that's doing presentations, that's talking to the clients, the person that's explaining, you just have to be able to, uh, determine what you want to do when it comes to you being an introvert, right? Do you want to talk to the clients? Do you want to be able to, teach people how to do things, or do you just want to work in your own little area, your little office cubicle, and crunch numbers? There's jobs like that in finance where you don't have to speak to people at all. So if you're an introvert, you'll be fine. You just have to kind of like explore. Some jobs might seem to be like jobs for introverts, but then you realize that it's not really my level, and then you can go to another one because there's so many options. I'm gonna do let's see here. Uh, I'll do one more here in the live stream chat. Said, can someone major in finance and psychology? Yes, you definitely can. Um, One thing I've learned is, when it comes to if you major in finance, right, and then you want to add something else to it, whether it's a minor or whether it's another major. Sometimes you have to pair it with something that supports finance, like programming, Python, right, or real estate, or accounting, or economics, or things that are related to finance that kind of like support it. But at the same time, sometimes you don't always have to do that. You don't always have to like you do that. You can major in something that you actually enjoy. So if you enjoy psychology, that'd be a great combination. Maybe one day you want to open your own practice, all right? And you're gonna be able to understand the finances, and finance is like one of the biggest drivers of businesses, whether businesses go out of business or they succeed. It's based on finance. Where's the money going? How are we getting money? How are we reinvesting this money back into the business, or how are we gonna grow the business? It's all money related. So if you understand finance, you can pair it to anything you want to do. You can even do finance and art. That's if you want to start your own art business, you're gonna understand the finance related to that. But yeah, I'm getting a little sleepy. That is pretty much it for tonight. If you guys are gonna be back here tomorrow, it's gonna be at 8:30, maybe 9. Tomorrow we're gonna be talking about. I'm gonna have a screen share where I'm gonna be showing you guys how to apply, how to find internships, right? From all levels, from the high level internships into the lower level internships, which are all gonna give you the same experience. So I'm gonna be showing you how to do that tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow on the next